All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of The Potential Project. I'm your host, Sean Calhoun, and if you're here, it's because you're ready to reduce stress, burn stubborn fat, and get your body working with you instead of against you. On this podcast, we're all about simple, no BS strategies for fitness, nutrition, and lifestyle. This way, you can feel strong, confident, and in control. I'll give you the tools, mindset shifts, and habits to help you look and feel your best without spending hours in the gym or stressing over every single meal. Now, let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of The Potential Project. And today I just wanted to come on here and speak a little bit from the heart, right? Because there's been something that has been on my mind and I need to just get it out. There's no script here. There's no bullet points that I usually write out. There's no notes. This is just coming from me to you. And it's about your journey. It's about your health. It's about all of the attention and focus that you put into trying to become a better human being, which is what this podcast is all about. If you're listening, you most likely care about your future. You most likely want to become better at your relationships, your health, your job. Like, you care about becoming better, and that's why you listen to this, or else you probably wouldn't be listening to me right now. But the thing I wanted to talk about specifically is just around health. You see, as a functional health practitioner, as a personal trainer, as someone who's been doing this for 10 years and worked with hundreds and hundreds of people, it is always on my mind to figure out how I can better serve you, right? How can I become a better communicator? How can I find the ways that work to help you burn fat? What are the most effective things to do as far as exercise is concerned? I've recently transitioned to focusing more on women over 40, right? So how can menopausal women get the most bang for their buck in the gym? How can they lose fat? How can they balance their hormones, right? And I've researched, I've read books all the time. I listen to different podcasts from different professionals and doctors and scientists and human biologists. And I'm not trying to say that I know it all, that I've done all the research, right? It's a continuous game. I'm just trying to tell you, I do this every day, right? Like, when I go to sleep at night, I'm thinking about how can I better serve my clients? How can I help you lose more weight? How can I help you feel better in your body? And that's always on my mind. So I'm always researching or doing something to try to better that. And I'm here to tell you right now, there are no secrets. There is nothing that, like, some person is gatekeeping and they've got all the answers and they're getting tremendous results for people, and like, you're just missing out on it and you just have to find that thing. No. It's the basics, it's the fundamentals, and it's these things done at a very high level. So I was just listening to a podcast the other day with a few doctors on there, and the one woman was a menopausal specialist. She's a board certified OBGYN. She's been doing this for years and years. She's a physician as well. Like, she's been doing surgeries, working with women. Like, she's been in the field for years. And she comes on this podcast and they're asking her, what's optimal for these women in menopause to be doing for their exercise? And she goes right into strength training. You need to be strength training 2 to 3 times a week, heavy weights, right? Like, repetitive movements, strengthening your muscle so that it can strengthen your bone, create better bone density. It can help absorb glucose. It protects your body structure. It burns calories, right? Like, this is stuff that you've heard before, correct? It's things that I have said. It's things that you've heard on other podcasts and on the internet. And I drive myself crazy because I'm listening to this woman, right? And I'm expecting, just like you all are, some magic sauce, something that we haven't heard before, something that's got to be missing that finally this professional is going to tell me about. Then she proceeds to talk about her morning routine and how she gets sunlight in the morning and she does her workout and she hydrates and she meditates in the morning. All of these foundational things that she does, and there's, again, no magic to it, right? She simply is just reiterating the importance of getting sunlight, moving your body, eating whole foods, prioritizing your sleep, and being able to reduce stress at a level that you're in control of. That's it. Right? Maybe a few supplements thrown in here and there. They talked about creatine and the importance of that. And yes, it is shown that creatine not only helps stimulate muscle growth, but is helpful for your cognitive abilities and your ability to have less brain fog and things like that you experience in menopause. So yes, there are things like that. There's peptides out there. But what I'm trying to get at here with this message to you is that you're not going crazy, even though things aren't perfect right now. You're working hard, you're exercising, you're trying to adjust the foods that you're eating, you're trying to sleep better, you're doing all those things while still proceeding to try to find this missing link, this secret sauce. But it's not out there. I just want to tell you that it's not always flashy and sexy and new and exciting. It just becomes monotonous over time, but you have to be the person who decides your identity and your standards and where you stand in life and what you're going to do on a daily basis, even when you don't feel like it. So when all else fails, you can still rely on yourself to move your body a little bit. You can still rely on yourself to make sure you're hydrated and to prioritize protein and to get to sleep at a decent time and to get your body outside in some sunlight and get some fresh air. Like, all of those things are the fundamentals. And the other point that I want to make is it's not just about those things, right? And the secret sauce, actually, I talked about there was no magic. I'm going to give you a secret that not many people talk about, and it is the fact that you need to master those basic standards and principles. I'm talking about eating whole foods. I'm talking about getting sunlight. I'm talking about moving your body, hydrating properly, and getting proper sleep and recovery. Hey, hope you're loving the episode so far. Thanks for spending some time with me. I got a quick favor to ask. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast because that's how I know you're getting value from the show. And this way, you never miss an episode. All right, now back to the show. If you do those things, those 4 or 5 avenues, there is no cap to how gradually better you could get at each one of those. And that's the exact point, right? There are no secret things, but the secret is that when you master those, there is no level that you can reach that will be your top. You will always be progressing in those avenues. So for example, when you start eating whole foods, maybe you went from eating fast food a couple times a week to now you're starting to cook at home. Now you're eating more whole foods. And then you go from there to eating every night at home. Then you go from eating every night at home to meal prepping on Sundays and eating at home. Then you go from meal prepping on Sundays and eating at home to really doing some intricate meals, and you're getting better quality ingredients like organic fruits and vegetables and pasture raised, free range meats. So that's what I mean. You took just the concept of eating whole foods and you leveled it up a few times. You can do the same thing with your sleep. All right, maybe you're like, all right, on weeknights I go to bed at 9:30, on the weekends it's 11. And then every night you start to go to bed at 9:30. And then you get blackout shades and now it's darker in your room. And then you start journaling at nighttime to get your thoughts out of your brain. Then you start taking melatonin at night to wind you down, right? Like you're adding levels to this basic foundational principle of getting sleep, right? You're moving your body. First you start with going a walk around the block. Then you do that 3 times a week. Then you're like, hey, I'm walking 3 times a week. Let's try 5. All of a sudden, a couple months later, you're walking 7 times a week. After that, maybe you throw in 1 strength training day per week, right? I don't want to beat a dead horse and keep going on and on about this analogy, but that's how it happens. That's how it works. That's the actual secret that no one wants you to know about, is because if you start with all of the basic foundational principles and you realize where you're currently at, so you can't lie about what your truth is right now. If you're someone who drinks literally 1 little cup of water, you can't then the next day be the person who drinks a gallon every day. If you've never worked out before, you're not going to do strength training 5 times a week. That is too steep of a gradient, too big of a jump. If you never worked out before and you came into the gym and I was like, all right, come on, we're going to squat 500 pounds. You'd say, whoa, Sean, you're crazy, dude. I can't do that. I need to start with 5 pounds. That would make sense, correct? Well, you wouldn't say that about the other habits. You'd say, I can drink a gallon a day. I can start exercising 3 times a week. You could, theoretically, but what's more of a sure path is to master those foundational principles, understand what they are, and then start where you're at and know that there is no end to how well you can get at that foundational principle. And that is where all the magic happens. When you release the attachment of needing to be at a certain weight or needing to look a certain way or whatever you think will make you happy when you achieve it, and you release that and you surrender to it and just focus on how good can you get at these foundational principles, that's when you receive your results. It sounds crazy, but if your goal is I need to lose 20 pounds and that's all you're focusing on, that is lack. But if you're focused on, man, I am really feeling good because of how hydrated I am. I'm getting better sleep, my energy's better, and you're focused on all of those things, over time, guess what just might be a side effect of that? Losing some weight. So I don't want to dance around the subject here. What I'm trying to say in this message that was just on my mind and I needed to get to you was that there's no secret. There are these basic foundational principles of health building, and you need to realize they're there, they're facts, this is what it takes, and you need to analyze where you are at in each one of those categories and be able to take a tiny step forward, right? If you drink 1 glass of water, can you drink 2 glasses of water? If you walk for 1 day a week, can you walk 2 days a week, right? Analyze all of those things, track them so that you're not, walking around being emotional about it. Like, I think I eat good. Do you really? That's another big one. People always say, Sean, I eat pretty good, but I can't lose weight. It's like, did you ever track your food ever? Did you ever weigh your food? Did you ever put it into an app? Did you ever write it down? They'll say no. And then I'm like, well, you can't be emotional if you're not changing your body composition if you've never tracked it. And that's why you need to. So it takes the emotion right out of it. You say, okay, I am tracking my food now. I know exactly what I need to consume to hit my goals. And then you can make the proper choice from there. So that's the message. There's no secret sauce. You got to stick to the basics. Every professional out there is going to say the same thing. You can go on any podcast, read any book, do any research. They're all going to say a variation of the same thing, is that you need to get very good at doing those 4 to 5 foundational aspects of health building. And once you do, you will start to win. You will start to feel happy, and you will really enjoy the journey rather than being so hyper-focused on that number on the scale, guys. So that's it from me today. If you enjoyed this message, please share it with a friend. Tell someone about the show. Share it on social media so that more people can hear the message and hopefully take some action and become better people and continue to improve themselves. I will see you guys next week. Hey, thanks for spending some time with me on today's episode. I hope you got a ton of value from it. If we're not connected on Instagram yet, let's change that. Hit me up at Sean Calhoun _. That's SEAN Calhoun _ Shoot me a DM. Let me know what you think of the show, or if you got any questions about how to level up your health. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next episode.